What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about normalize working on self. We're going to talk about working on solutions. We're going to talk about positivity. We're going to talk about negativity, not being negative. We're going to talk about it all. All right. First off, why isn't working on self normalized? Can we talk about that? Why isn't in today's society that we are normalizing self care, mental health? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we not talking about that type of stuff today? We're all talking about materialistic stuff. We're talking about financial brackets. We're talking about political views. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about presidential runs, elections. We're talking about economy and all this. Talking about feminism and all these big, trigger words and politically correct and non-politically correct terms and whatnot. But why are people not working on themselves? Until you understand that everything is a reflection of you, everything you experience when it comes to interactions with other people, how you receive, how you perceive things, that's the aspect I'm talking about. When I say normalize working on self, when I say everything is a reflection of you, is a mirror of yourself in the sense of how you perceive things, right? Because the only thing that you have full control over is yourself, how you react, your mood, your demeanor, your body language, how you articulate your words, how you phrase your sentences, your tone, your thought process. All of that, that's on you. That's a responsibility. You have control over. Anything else, you have no control over. So that's what I mean in that aspect. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? Let's talk about how you can work or start the process of working on yourself. Well, before you can work on yourself, right, you have to make sure that you are aware of the problem. And the first step to knowing or to solving a problem is knowing you have one. So, first off, you have to face it, right? You have to make sure that you are aware of it. What are you going to work on? What is it that you're going to be healing? What is it that you're going to be exploring? The flaws, the insecurities, right? The negative, the positive, the pros and cons of whatever it is that you are um, isolating and specifically working on, right? In identifying it, right? So you gotta know what it is, right? And then you have to also name it, right? You have to be aware of not just that you have the problem, but what even is the problem, right? And that's how you can start going down your in your past, right? Just start looking about how you react to things. What are things that trigger you, right? Go that day forward and start your whole mission for that day can be identifying and pointing out and being aware of the triggers you have throughout the day, the things that irritate you, right? And you don't even have to make them big. You can start small, the small things that irritate you, and write them down. Keep note of them, right? Don't leave them in your head. Write them down. That's the key thing. A lot of people do not do that. They keep stuff in their head, and it's like anything you remember, you forget something as well. That's what they say. In a sense of you don't remember what you forgot. And you might not even forgot anything, but it's just the fact that you can't even remember if you did or didn't. So that's like the whole concept of it. So write stuff down, right? Now, after you have at the end of the day, right? You have written down the things that you have found yourself being irritated, frustrated, right? Um aggravated, right? Even to a far extreme, or even to just like a little, just just no, right? Even the things that are uncomfortable, right? You can get real personal with this, right? This is all you. This is all self work. This is all however much effort you want to put into this, you're gonna get the results. It's gonna show within the results, right? So Now you got the end of the day, you have the notes. Now all you have to do is now reflect each thing, write down a thought, each thing, just one thought, a thought process, and just keep writing until you can't. Now move on to the next thing and keep going until you can't, and then go back to the first one and revise it and see if there's anything more, and do that about 2-3 times, and then after that read through it, each and every one, and try to figure, and then write it on a separate piece of paper, it by itself, your conclusion, your thought process of why you think you get triggered by that, and then go through a whole nother thought process, like being very specific on one trigger or one irritation, one frustration, one thing that aggravated you, right? One thing that shook you up, right? Now you can isolate that and work on that specifically and go through a whole thought process. Use one paper, the back of the paper, a whole nother paper. Go through the whole thought process and come to the conclusion. And then figure out how then you can now move on it, right? You faced it, you named it. Now you got to own it. Okay, I do this. Now you went through the whole thought process. You came down to the thing that's underlying, and it's this. Why is this? Okay, I have to face this. This is why I do it. I have to admit it. I have to accept it. Now you move past it. Now you have to change it. Now after you did the heavy lifting, right? You identified it. You took inventory, right? You regulated your thought process, right? Going through the whole thing, right? Going through action steps that start from the irritation and move forward and escalate, right? You have the whole thing, right? Now all you have to do is change. Work on that specific thing. You could do one trigger a week, a month, a day. You know what I mean? Just whatever. You can work on it whatever, however long you want to. Make sure it's reasonable time, not too long, in a sense of to where you stop making progress, right? Like there's no end goal. Like you just stagnant. You can even become complacent with it too. You know what I'm saying? If you're not progressing in some sense, right? And then also it's now you put it on paper, so now you put action to it, you gave life to it, right? Whatever you give energy to, you give life to. So you gave energy to identifying and taking inventory of the negative things or insecurities or things that you want to work on or build, right, or add to, right? You have it now on paper, so now you can read it. And when you're reading it as if you're like reading a book and taking in the information. Now you can see it from a different perspective. You put it now all on paper. Now you can see from a third perspective. You can see your whole thoughts. You can see your thought process, your feelings. You can see the actions you did. You know what I'm saying? You go through the whole thing. It's all on paper. You ain't gotta. Dang, what did I do next? It's right there. You ain't got to trip. So now, after all of that, you go through the whole thing. Then you change it. You work on it. You work on yourself, right? Your innate reactions. Work on your reactions, right? And all that. So, just coming to the whole conclusion, right? Is just you have people need to start normalize working on self, because what you're not understanding is that the reflection, like go just kind of circling all the way back from the start of the video, you guys, is that when you work on self and you fix your image, you fix the mirror so that your reflection is clear, so that anybody you come up against, you know you're not projecting your own image onto them. You know you're not comparing yourself, because you're at peace, you're contempt within yourself, because you're aware of your flaws, your insecurities, your cons, your pros, your positives, characteristics, your traits, your good morals, your values. You know what I'm saying? Your toxic nature, if you have any that you still do, that you might need to work on and heal through, right? You guys have to understand that healing is not a destination. There's no such thing as being fully healed. There's no destination, because there's always something new that can come at you in a different way, that can re-trigger something that you thought was healed, because you've came up against it in the same ways or in a couple different ways that you've passed. And and you've been able to stay strong. Maybe something comes up that's more intense, more in depth, more meaningful, more hurtful, and it triggers you, and it hits that certain point that just knocks you over the top. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's a journey, not a destination. Healing is not a destination; it's a journey. Okay, and the journey you experience depends on the direction you go in. It also depends on the speed you go at. Because if you're going too fast, you might miss something, and if you're going too slow, you also might miss something. Because it might be going a little bit faster than you, and you should be on that speed. You're not on the speed that you should be at. See what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. So kind of just wrapping up this whole thing, right? Um um self-care, mental health, right? We talked about solutions, right? We talked about all of that. So now you guys know a way to kickstart, a way to work on yourself, and understanding that in today's society, a lot of people are not working on themselves. When you start working on yourself, you see how you'll start to stand out. You'll start to notice how much you stand out from people in a sense of the 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 place that you're at in the journey of healing. You start seeing how many people are passive, how many people are narcissistic, how many people are toxic, how many people are negative, right? That see the glass half empty instead of half full, right? But then you also notice the people that are very positive, that have done work. It's very admirable, and you can applaud it too, because you understand the difference from just living life and just living day by day, and not actually taking each day as a learning lesson, or trying to take what can you take from the day instead of the day being taken from you and you wasting time. What can you take from the day? You know what I'm saying? From your learning lessons. If you aren't learning, you're not growing. Don't be a follower, be a student of life. Work on yourself. You work on your thought process and how you think, and what you think about becomes your perception. So if you work on yourself, you work on your thinking. If how you think becomes your perception, then that fixes how you see the world. So if it fixes how you see the world, it fixes how you see things in the world. If it fixes the things that you see how you if it fixes how you see the things that are in the world, then it can fix how you see the things that are in the world. And yada yada yada, and so on and so on. So wrapping up this video, I just want to tell everybody, I appreciate everybody that is gonna watch this video. If you do, hopefully anything in this video helps anybody and it reaches who it's supposed to reach. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't block your blessings, second guessing on good things. Keep stuff private until it's permanent. And remember, a good life still has bad days too. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one.